Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltia's Gaming here with Mad Max to review Shadows of the Hiss, racial passive changes. What are they and how are they going to affect your character? Holy Argonian rerolls, Batman! The first race we have up is the Argonian, which is probably my favorite change of this overall patch. They changed Amphibious to be Resourcefulness. Now increases your max magic by 3% and continues to restore your resources when you drink a potion. Quick Mana, this is the interesting change. This passive ability now increases your healing done instead of healing received. So all those people that rolled Argonian healers that thought they were going to be the best healers and it was only healing received, well, you might have some validity now. Giving Argonians that useful resource passive in the previous patch, making it 12%, plus increasing it to max magic, really goes hand in hand with making the Argonian sap tank build that I'm currently developing absolutely extraordinary. Giving the little max magic also helps out those that want to do healing. However, I don't know if it's going to beat out a high elf or a Breton just purely based on the max magic. That would probably give you a more beneficial advantage than, say, a little bit more increased healing. Either way, it's still a really good buff for Argonian that needed something else besides max health. Breton sees my least favorite change of all and the most baffling. So they still get 10% max magic, still get spell resistance and reduced magic cost, but 1% increase to alliance point gain is absolutely baffling to me. I don't see the reason in doing this, because how many times has someone almost got Emperor but lost by 1%? How many times has someone almost got the end of tier campaign rerolls and all that gold stuff that they worked really hard for but lost by 1%? You shouldn't see an advantage that you can have based on a race that affects leaderboards. Now, some might say, well, you already get that with other races. But I'm telling you right now, I really don't like this change and think it's baffling to me that something that could affect someone's leaderboard status passively, not by gameplay, not by tactics, not by skill, but by race, is in the game. Take it out, ZeniMax. Dark Elf sees another buff to an already really powerful magic race. Now the Ashlander passive reduces the damage taken from lava, so I can see a lot of Dark Elf dragging a scroll out into a lava pit northwest of the map. But that's a kind of a flavor thing. That's okay. Flame Talent. This passive is named Destructive Ancestry, so now you get a benefit to fire like you would have, but frost and shock as well, similar to the high elf elemental damage. I don't see why this is a thing, and I'm pretty sure lore-wise the Dummer were always based on fire. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't see why they buffed an already powerful race with shock and frost, but hey, if you like your Dummer, they're still really powerful. The High Elf is arguably the best magic base race to be, and they didn't see any other benefits. So you still have magic recovery, max magic, and elemental damage. What they did have is a little flavor to it. Also, in addition to current benefit, is now increasing your experience by 1%. So this does affect CP, I would imagine, making it to the cap a lot easier, but 1% doesn't add up that much. Now there's a difference between the AP rewards and the experience reward and CP gain. Remember, there's a cap on CP. So eventually when you reach the cap, this 1% won't matter and you won't get a huge advantage over other players. So I'm totally fine with this. High Elf for grinding? I guess so. So the Imperial still gets all of its benefits, max health, max stamina, and health based on melee attacks. And they added just another little flavor thing here. Current benefit increases your gold gain by 1%. Am I okay with this? Absolutely. This doesn't really affect anything, and I think Imperial is already a pretty powerful race that has a lot of flexibility and some real value in PvP. So Khajiit got a buff, which is very mysterious to me. They're already the most powerful PvE stamina-based DPS class, and that's mainly due to their critical. Melee crit by 8%. Now you're adding in extra stamina, making them the no-brainer for PvE-related stamina DPS. I don't know if this change was due to PvP, since they didn't have a max stamina pool. They only have 10% stamina recovery, so Redguard would be the ideal choice for a pure stamina recovery melee build, or a Woodelf, but giving them added stamina seems kind of baffling considering they're already the highest. Play a Khajiit Dragon Knight using Venom Claw if you don't believe me. Oh snap, Nords finally got a buff. Yes, max stamina I think was what they really needed to be top end tank along with Imperial. So they still get the health, max stamina. They did reduce the health recovery a little bit, but I don't factor that into being a really important value for endgame tanking or PvP tanking. You're still going to get the reduced damage, but the health and stamina paired together, along with kind of like the Orc and the Imperial, really makes it probably the best choice now for endgame tanking over the Imperial, just a stat machine. So, Nords, tell me, are you guys happy with this? This will also help your damage if you're a stamina DPS. So, Orcs got a buff as well. In addition to current benefit, now increases your inspiration gain by 10%. So that's your flavor thing that they got, and that really doesn't affect anything. The nice thing about this is it increases your healing received and lowers your health recovery down by 20%. So currently I use an Orc to tank, and was thinking about re-rolling to Imperial or a Nord with this update, but that increased healing received by 5% doesn't seem like a lot, but that's still really, really nice. So now you have max speed, you got health and stamina, and healing received. I still love my Orc for PvP. So the Redguard didn't see any buffs, and frankly I don't think it needs it. So you get max stamina, stamina recovery, and then the Adrenaline Rush, the best stamina-based recovery in the game, and max stamina, making it really good damage juggernaut as well. So you did get this added benefit to consuming food by 15 minutes. So that's okay, but I'm glad they didn't really touch Redguard, which was already a powerhouse race for stamina. Woodelf's got a really cool flavor thing added to him, and that's Acrobat. Fall damage by 10%. It's really interesting. I remember the days of Morrowind and jumping really high with my Argonian and coming down and killing myself because I jumped too high, just randomly pressing the spacebar while leveling. So I'm glad that they added the flavor text to all classes. It's really interesting how these will play out, and specifically if there's a lore background to it. You know, that's not my thing, but for a lot of people it is. So what else, fans out there? Is acrobatics your thing? Well, gang, that's it for the review. What do you guys think of the new racial passes? Leave me a comment with some details. What does Oz need to do to improve the overall gameplay by adding in appropriate races? And I know Max and I are excited about Argonian. We know. Look at that belly. He's getting so big. He's 3 months today. Thanks for watching.